On this channel, I typically talk about spirituality and philosophy. It was one of the main focuses as of late with some of the videos that I've made. However, the channel is named after me. The channel is supposed to be about me and things that I find interesting. One of the things that I like to do is I like to collect things. So today I wanted to show something that I like collecting. These are actually a group of action figures from 1995. If you like this type of content, make sure you interact so I know to make more of it. If not, I'll still make it on occasion. I just might not make it as often. In 1995, there was a cartoon series that came out based upon the Mega Man video games. And Bandai created a toy collection series, and I have the Series 1 of those toys. I do have some of the cards still. So as you can see here, it is the Mega Man Series 1 from Bandai. Each of these cards has a number associated with it. This particular one here is Gutsman. This is the Series 1's figures. I do have all of these, and I'm going to be showing you all these figures here in a few moments. Here is the card for Bomb Man. Then I've got Mega Man, Proto Man, Rush, and Cut Man. So kind of cool. A little bit of clip art with each of those. Like I said, I don't always hang on to the cards. I did this time. This is from, like I said, 1985. I did buy these brand new and open them myself. So I don't remember if they were bought for me or if, I think they were actually bought for me as presents. But either way, I kept the cards. I thought it was kind of cool. So let's go ahead and go through some of the figures one by one. They're a little bit aged. They're a little bit old, so just keep that in mind. So this, of course, here is Mega Man. And this light is way too bright. So I want to adjust the light just a hair so that I can get some light on here without washing out the figures. This, of course, is later in the evening, so not perfect lighting, but, you know, at least get some light on there so you can see what's going on. Anyway, so here's Mega Man. Really, really, really cool. And like I said, this is based upon that cartoon series from 1995. As you can see here, we got some aging going on the arms and on the legs, a little bit around the ears as well. Very, very, very cool figure. Let's talk about some of the features. So to begin with, the legs themselves, they kind of articulate a little bit here at the hip, so you can kind of like put him in different types of positions. He does stand up. He will freestand with and without the accessories. The shoulder joints here allow you to go up and down and out to the side as well, so you can get different positions with the hands. The hand itself does not articulate at all on the right arm. The left arm, it does, but it's also detachable, which I'll show you in a second. And of course, the head can turn from side to side. Not a full range of motion without really pushing it. I don't really want to push it. But as you can see, he's in pretty decent shape, all things considered. You have like this, I guess this is like to represent his powers. So like when you, in the game, when you beat a boss, you would take the powers and be able to use them. They kind of show this with the figure as well, but I think that's kind of like to simulate how many like points of power you have to use. So this arm here, aside from swiveling here, actually pops off and it's removable. And then you can replace this with either another arm or his blaster. He comes with his blaster, which I have here. It is spring loaded and it allows him to fire different types of energy. So we just pop that right there in the hole. Nice and snug. Now he has his blaster. He comes default with like a fireball. So that just hooks into there like this. Oops, hold on. There we go. Now it pops on and then you just press this forward and it fires off. Pretty cool. I think that's awesome. So there's Mega Man. There's the main figure for the series. So I'll go ahead and put this over here. Next, I'll show you Proto Man. Proto Man basically is the same design, just with red and of course gray and a different head. He also has this like plastic scarf on here. So that stays on, it's not removable. And he has the same joints, same movement and articulation that he does with the body. This is, see where on this hand here, it's a little bit raised. Here it's inset and there's 4 instead of 2. A little bit of a difference, but this arm likewise comes off. I'll show you his head before I show you his blaster. I like looking at figures. I think this is really cool. And I'm kind of playing with toys on camera. So, you know, I'm having fun. Hopefully you're having fun too. So here's his blaster. It's basically the exact same one as Mega Man. It's just red. I know it kind of looks pink because, you know, with time and age, they do kind of fade a little bit. His arm's still pretty red, so is his helmet. He also came with basically an energy ball, which looks like a fireball. Same thing. It works the exact same way as the blaster for Mega Man. And in fact, you can interchange the arms and the blasters with all of these figures. Next, I'll show you Rush. Who doesn't like Rush? So we have Rush the dog here. And he does convert into like the jet version. It's like a jet skateboard. That's why there's the 2 pegs here. He comes with this accessory, which is like these rockets. So this goes around his waist and straps on like this. And there's a little hole in a peg there to find it into the groove. So those are the rocket packs. If you press down on his tail, his head will move down a little bit. His mouth does open. And then his legs here have got multiple joints to move in different directions. The feet don't flex, but the joint here works as well as the shoulder joints, and you actually press these down like this. This puts him into his rocket skateboard state, and you have wheels. These do spin. And then Mega Man, or some of the other figures, there's the holes on the bottom of the feet. So you actually put those on the pegs, and he will stand up. And then, of course, you can, you know, turn him and put out his blaster, whatever you want to do with him, and he'll ride around. Now, if you have to flatten out the feet completely, make sure they're off the ground, but he will roll. So it's pretty cool. Come on, that's pretty cool. So Rush and Mega Man here. Pop his legs back up to a standing position. I usually just leave his rocket belt on. Typically, he would be without that, right, if he's running around. So we'll actually let Rush stand up over here. We'll have him stand over here in the corner. All right, so there's those. The next one is probably one of the cooler figures, in my opinion, because of the way the scissors work with him. So Cut Man. As you can see here, we have some aging going on. This is supposed to be like white here. There's some aging going on in the scissors as well. So he's articulated just like the other two. So same shoulder joints, where you can kind of go in those directions. This arm comes off, and like I said, technically speaking, you can put the arm on. You can also put a blaster on here instead if you really want to. You can pop the blaster in its place. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera as I'm moving between the light and the camera with my one arm. But he actually fires his from the top of his head. So you pull down on here, and it pops off and fires off the top there. And then this goes into the blaster for Mega Man. So when you have Cut Man's power, and then you can fire off the small scissors, or he also comes with large scissors, so you can fire those off as well, both out of Mega Man's blaster, and can be fired out the top of Cut Man's head. So you can pop that in there as well. Looks kind of redonkulous, and you pull on that, it pops it out. So that's kind of neat. So here's kind of a up-close look at Cut Man. Kind of see the launcher there in the back. This can kind of face in any direction, but let's face it, we want him to face forward like that. Cool figure. So there's Cut Man. Next, we'll go with Bomb Man. So Bomb Man looks like a giant bomb and a bird. He's got a mohawk going on. He likewise, so this arm will also pop off. And of course, like I said, Mega Man or Proto Man can wear this. Technically, it can go on any of the figures. Same thing with just the articulation here in the hip. But the arm only goes up and down. There's no joint up here like on the other figures. And he has this lever on the back, which moves his arm. So typically, and I don't like to move this. If you do move it, you hear this popping noise when it locks in different positions. But here's the bomb he comes with, and you can just lay that on top of his hand. And when you want to use him, you hit the lever, and he'll throw the bomb. So you can fling it a little far. And as you can see, there's a lock thing there, because likewise, like with anything else, you can put that power, Bomb Man's power, into Mega Man, and he can fire that off out of his blaster again. Really cool toy series. I'm serious. This stuff's just awesome in my opinion. So here's the bomb he comes with. Like I said, I just like to stand him up like this and put it up in his hand, but there's Bomb Man. And last one in this series is Guts Man. So Guts Man is basically, you know, just real big, strong, powerful. His deal is just moving his arms like this. So this is to represent his power of strength. And you can kind of just balance this here on his hands and then just have him fling it onto the floor because, you know, that's fun. But this course, just like the other ones, can fire here from the power. So you can fire out this, I guess, I don't know if that's a fire hydrant or what that is. And he likewise doesn't have those shoulders. You can kind of click this like that in different directions, very similar to Bomb Man. So you can have it at a different angle. You usually want them together. This one does swivel, and you can pull this off and put this on Mega Man or Proto Man or any of the other ones. The arm does come off, again, with the same hip joint articulation. There's kind of a closer look at him. His head doesn't turn on this toy. You can kind of get some turning on Bomb Man, but not this one. So he's just, yeah. So that's the Series 1 figures. Now it's interesting, just to show you again one more time on the cards. So when you look at Rush's card here, like all the other ones, it has the Series 1 figures, which you just saw all of them. But for some reason on Cut Man, it actually shows different figures. So there's Drill Man, Bright Man, Elect Man, and Snake Man. Those are not figures that I have, and they are not part of the Series 1. But it's on the card for a Series 1 figure. So I thought that was wild, kind of interesting. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to share that real quick. So yeah, that's my 1995 Mega Man Bandai collection. Again, if you found this interesting at all, go ahead and interact. Let me know you like it, and I will try to do more videos like this and all that good stuff. So yeah, thanks for checking this out, and I will catch you in the next one.